I'd like to start out with the Pledge of Allegiance. So if everybody would please rise and we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, good morning, everybody. Has everybody seen the minutes from the last meeting? I'm assuming that's a yes. If we get a approval. Jeff, was that you that
What was the question, Charles?
I asked if everybody had seen the minutes, and if everybody has, I'd like to move on with the approval of the minutes, or if there's any changes that need to be made.
I did review them. I'll make a motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, Candace, do you want to kind of go through the roll?
I can, but I'd like to confirm who made the second.
Chris?
Chris
Correct.
Um,
Salatas.
Salatas.
Gladys.
Thank you. Sure, I can go through the roll. Lake County,
Dwayne Alverson, present.
thank you, Dwayne. Thank you for stating your name. I forgot to mention that. Porter County. Burns Harbor. Cedar Lake. Chesterton. Crown Point.
Here, Greg Falkowski.
Thank you. East Chicago. Gary.
Here, Deb Beckett.
Thank you. Hammond.
Dean Button's here.
Thank you, Dean.
Thank you.
Hobart.
Bill Graylick, yes.
Thank you, Phil. Maryville. Munster. Portage.
Sandy Culp here.
Great, thank you. Cherville.
Jeff Hewitt here.
Thank you. Valparaiso.
Mike Jabo here.
Also
Thank
Beth
you.
Schrader.
And Beth Schrader. Okay, thank you. Winfield. Union Township. Kevin Brightsky. Beverly
Here.
Shores.
Kevin Brightsky is here.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. Beverly Shores. Dune Acres. Dyer. Griffith. Hebron. Highland. Couts. Lowell. New Chicago. Ogden Dunes. Pines. Porter. Schneider. St. John.
Chris Salatas, present.
Thank you. Whiting. Porter Township. GPTC.
I am here, David Wright.
Thank you, David. East Chicago. Nick D. North Township. Opportunity Enterprise.
Mark Fisher, present.
Thank you. Porter County Aging. Lake County Community Services. Valparaiso.
Beth Schrader for Valpo Transit.
Thank you. South Shore Clean Cities.
Kyle Six here from South Shore.
Thank you. Did anybody join after I took roll call?
Hi, Candace. This is Mark Odell from the town of Chesterton.
Great. Thank you, Mark. Welcome. Anybody else?
Nick Bellard, town of Winfield.
Town of Winfield. What was the name? I'm sorry.
Nick Bellard.
Okay. Any others?
Steve King, Town of Maryville.
Great. Thank you, Steve. Welcome. Anybody else?
John Strange, First Group Engineering.
Okay, thank you. At 17.
And Bob Thompson's here, or will be here shortly.
That is 18.
Okay. Is moving on is, it looks like, was that the approval of the minutes? Was there any objections to the minutes? Hearing none, we'll have them, we'll say they've been approved. Moving on, public comment. Is there anybody, no one has given me, prior to today, has given me any requests for public comments? If there is somebody that would like to make a public comment, please let me know. Speak up now. Hearing none, we'll move on to the spending plan update. About 20 minutes ago, I shared everybody with the spending plan. I hope everybody, I realized that did not give everybody adequate time to review it. But it's been a very busy chessboard in the last day or two. So as of last night, at 5 o'clock, I was still working on it. So it's, trust me, by sending you it this morning, I was not trying to slide anybody. So.
Hey, Charles, could you send that? I have not seen anything hit my inbox. This is
Yeah.
David Wright.
Neither have I. Is this the same thing that is on the agenda, the link on the agenda, or?
Yes, it is. It is. What I sent out this morning was updated with a bunch of changes in it.
Okay, so what's the link that's in the agenda is not updated.
Beth, I just sent it.
As everybody knows, that spending plan changes minute by minute. So yes, I was working on it late yesterday. I did not. I can send it out, or I can. Let's see. I will. Looks like Craig Zans. Let me. I can get that out. I'll get that out right now. You two should be getting it. I know I sent it to Mike. Did you get it? Mike Jabo?
Yes, I did, and I shared it with Beth as well.
Okay. So, just to give you a brief rundown, as you see on the agenda, we received roughly $4 million in 2022. And it goes up incrementally about $500,000 every year. So $4 million in 22, 4.5 in 23, 5 million in 2024, 5.5 in 25, and 6 million in 2026. Today, what I'd like to do is shore up 2022, and if we have time, work on 2023. 2024, 2025, and 2026, I'm not really worried about. We have the NOFA coming up, and that should take care of that. And there'll probably be some changes, and quite honestly, if we deal with that at the next TROC meeting, if we want to deal with it, we can deal with it at the next TROC meeting. It's not a big deal. But 2022, our next TROC meeting is going to be May 17th. So obviously that's going to be way too late. So we need to figure out what's going on with 2022. Let me pull up the spending plan. And we've had several projects that got bumped from 2022 because of schedule or some other risk that was something else happened and the project could not let in 2022. That totals about $4 million. So that's the risk that we ran when our projects are in March and April or May. And if something happens where we have right-of-way issues, utility issues, railroad issues, something like that, we have obviously no room. Now, fortunately, each one of those projects was able to slide into 2023 because we had that extra $4.5 million. And so therefore 2023 is pretty much taken care of. We do have a little bit of money left over in 2023, as you can probably look at the spending plan. But I will share my screen. And I will actually zoom in too. So we have almost $4.2 million left over in 2022. And that's after our $4 million that we got from NDOT. So moving projects out. And then you can see we have a slight deficit in 2023. So actually, I won't be talking about 2023. I'm hoping that a couple projects, some funding that was in 2023 can slide into 2022. We'll take care of that. So on the spreadsheet that I shared this morning, any item that's in purple, that's been highlighted in purple, is a change that that I'm looking at, or is a request that I received for those funds in 2022. So looking at that, the requests that I've received, Lake County Veterans Trail. Looking for, they're looking for $1.2 million, almost 1.276 million for right away on the vet trail. Valparaiso is looking for an extra $300,000, $330,000 for their multi-use trail from downtown to the TOD area.
Could you describe, is that property acquisition money or for Valpo? What, is that PE or right away?
That's PE.
Thank you.
I have a request from GPTC for the Grant Street, or I guess it's transit to Hobart. It's Grant Street Rapid Transit.
Grant / Hobart.
Yeah. So I have that in 23, 24, and 25. It was originally starting in 2025. We could possibly move it to 2022 if there's David, if you're ready for it in 2022, but I don't want to give it to you and it just sit in the bank.
I've already put together the planning itinerary for it. Yeah, we would probably, once you approved it, request a transfer to have service ready.
I don't have that in CMAC right now. That's in STBG funds. We'd have to get the CMAC application, and that wouldn't be till June 1st. So, but anyway, that's why it's in 2023, because it says CMAC, but we don't have the CMAC application complete, and it hasn't been submitted, so it's technically still STBG.
Well, wasn't it submitted for CMAC originally?
It was never applied for CMAC.
I could have sworn I used the I could have sworn I used CMAC criteria to put it into the program in 2020.
I'll have to look, but the CMAC application is December 1st and June 1st. So it's not like HSIP where we can submit it anytime.
Mm-hmm.
So, and really there wasn't a rush until now because it was in 2025.
Mm-hmm.
So, and there might be some way around it. If we're ready for it now, there might be a way around it. I'd have to do some digging into that, David.
Okay,
So,
yeah, because I mean, I've not seen that as a barrier for previous flex dollars in the past.
So I sent an email in. I need to follow up on with NDOT on how that actually works. I've never moved funds from into CMAC for a startup yet. So I need to talk with NDOT on that. See how they want that.
Okay.
I have Valparaiso's roundabout at Campbell and Lincoln Way. They're looking for an extra almost $150,000 for PE, I believe. Again, with Valparaiso, State Road 130 and 400, they're looking for $175,000, $176,000 for PE. And then there is a change order that's coming through for Valparaiso for Solhavia Road. We're almost $100,000, 97,000. Is there anybody that I've missed? And please, if I did miss you, it is not by intent.
Yeah, Charles, Greg Falkowski at Crown Point.
Yes.
Yeah, we spoke earlier about we're expanding the scope a little bit of the roundabout at 113th and 231.
Yes.
So for this year, we would be looking for probably an additional around 100,000 for PE. The project's got a little bit larger with a fourth leg and combining into next level trails, a DNR program, as well as a little Cal project too. So if those are available, we'd be looking for probably about 100 on the PE for this year.
Okay, if you do, that will not be HSEP eligible.
Yeah, I know we've done the road safety audit, and I think it's pending review, but yeah, either way, yeah, those funds would be useful this year.
How much?
100.
Just 100,000 federal?
Yeah. And then we spoke previously, or I sent an email about the right-of-way acquisition that happened on 109th and Iowa. We were looking,
Yes,
at that
I remember
time, there
that.
was no funds available. If there are now, we sent you that number. I believe it was 129 was the 90%. Yeah, 129, 690 is 90% of the right of way.
Okay,
Yeah, Charles, Dwayne Overson here, Lake County Highway.
yes.
Our 45th Avenue project, that's going to letting in March. For construction, we have an estimate, construction estimate 10.5 million and the CE at 1.2 for a total of $11,700,000. The federal portion of that would be 9,360,000. So looks like we would be asking for an additional $800,000 in federal funds there. We'd like to have those funds reserved for until after the letting, see what the bids come in at.
And when is the letting?
March 9th.
Okay. You're still okay. I'll. How much additional? 800?
Yes. Yeah. That would cover our construction estimate cost.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I can, well, that shouldn't be a problem.
Thank you.
We'll see, I mean, we'll see what the bids come in though.
Yes, very good.
Anybody else? Okay, I will get working on those 2 or 3 requests that came in. And in the meantime, if you've started your RFP process for either PE or right away, that's great. If you haven't, you probably need to start that as of yesterday. So hop to it. If you're looking to use 2022 funds, or if you're already programmed to use 22 funds, and you haven't started that, that needs to be done. That's got to go through the RFP process, as we all know. So you got to get that out, and it's going to take about 90 days. Although it is going a little bit quicker with NDOT approving them, because they're approving them via DocuSign and not physically taking them from desk to desk to desk. So that does go a little bit quicker, but still keep in mind that you do need to get that going. And if you have funds in 2023 for PE or right away, you got to go through that anyway, so you might as well start it. So,
Hey, Charles, this is Jake Damerel. On
Yeah.
behalf of the town of Griffith, there was an email sent that requested the advance of the engineering funds into fiscal 2022. I didn't see that on your spreadsheet. That would be for Avenue H and Broad intersection improvements. Yes, that's the one right there. So they have engineering in 23, but if it's helpful to advance that, the request for 280,000 in federal funds in 22.
how much?
I think they had 109,620 currently in the draft tip. We would need 280 federal.
280. So what is that for the? Actually, I have
Total?
315 for PE.
Okay.
Is that-
I suppose, yeah, there has obviously been no contract negotiated yet or even a selection made at this time. So perhaps
So
leaving
have
it
they
at
gone
that
through the
amount.
RFP process?
We're going to get that advertised, or I should say they're going to get that advertised here in the next week or two.
Thank you for changing your wording. Okay. Okay, I can move that.
Hey, Charles,
Yes,
they're probably similar to us. They have money in 23.
right.
Yeah, because our request, we just asked for are you just going to do the delta instead of moving it up?
Yeah,
See,
that's a good question, Mike, because you could technically just get started with the difference, right?
Yeah, I'd leave it in 23, Charles, in both cases. That's what I counted on. I didn't double dip, is what I'm saying is I took 23 and 22. That's what makes us whole at 80-20. That's maybe what I would suggest for Griffith.
Well, if I have to give you funds, I might as well give you all the funds in 22 because we
that's
got a
fine
deficit
too.
in 23.
You're telling me you're flush with cash, that's fine.
For 22, I am. 23, I'm not.
Charles,
That's what I'm saying.
at the bottom of your list, you didn't mention the 3 new roadways either, did you?
No, actually, I did not. Thank you. Thank you. Let me get these to Griffith taken in. So actually, that PE will probably be that PE might be STBG funds. We don't have any. I don't have any information, any road safety audit or anything filled out for that. So that those PE funds might be STBG funds, and then later on turn into H funds after we do the road
Understood.
safety audit.
Understood.
So please let them know to get that started ASAP.
Will do.
Charles, so if you're going to advance our money from 23, then our request in 2022 would be 318,746.
For which project?
400 State Road 130 and 400 north. And then you can zero out the 142, 896 and 23. which I think you already did.
So how much is it then?
In 22, we'd be asking federal 318,746.
Okay.
Thank you.
And then as Mike had mentioned, Porter County Willow Creek Road, for the NEPA, they're asking for an additional $216,000. Porter County is asking for, and then for the phase one, they're asking for additional $144,000 in there for PE. And then St. John is asking for their full funding for PE for the Klein Avenue roadway between 101st and 93rd. So, and as everybody can see in the green box right here, we still have 3.8 million left over. And we are within our range on 2023 then. So, does anybody have any objections or any other requests?
I don't have anything, just need guidance on what needs to be done for the grant project when it comes to CMAQ funds. Just
If I
because,
get that guidance, I will share it with you.
okay,
Okay.
all right.
I don't know that guidance. And like I said, I've reached out to NDOT and I'll have to get back with, and I'll reach out to them again. I haven't heard a response yet, but I need guidance myself.
Okay.
So blind leading the blind.
Question, Charles, you're still asking for changes to 22?
Correct.
Okay.
Well, Charles, this is a long shot, as I understand. You have to work within the limits of the grants that are set up through FTA. So transit kind of across the board has a lot of issues right now because of decreased ridership. I think where most operators have like 50 or so percent ridership that they had pre-COVID. Valparaiso in particular, we run a couple different types of services. So our V line is about 65% of ridership. We understand that and are managing through it. For our Dash service, which is a commuter service, we're seeing much bigger hits. And I think that's typical across the country. Commuter services are much more affected than the inner city transit. So we're still at about 15% of our ridership. So our revenues coming in are so low. Now we are adequately funded from the standpoint of everything that we asked for capital cost of contracting, which ends up being about 36% of our